Welcome, respected friends. Out of 122 sargas, 31 sargas of this Tritiya Utpatti Prakaranam we have gone through. Remaining things one by one. Let us see. This is called as Utpatti Prakaranam, where Utpatti in all details told only to prove that nothing is Utpanna. Parabrahman is remaining as he is only Maya, Maya Kalpita Chitta, Chitta Kalpita everything. Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Veshti, Samashti, all of that. So to drive this highest truth into our hearts, all these sarga stories, upakhyanas. So Leela Upakhyana we are saying, Leela and Saraswati Mata have gone to see the husband, Raja. He is king there, but at that time Yuddha started happening. So Bhayankara Yuddha Varnana will be done in next lots of sargas. Finally Raja Vithuratha dies and gets moksha. All that we will see later on. But now the Yuddha Varnana going on. In the 32nd Sarga, the Varnana of the both sides as well as the beginning of the Yuddha we will see. Only to tell us that not only on the earth but in the universe, in so many lokas, etc., in this way, by the jivas, for whatever the various reasons, continuously these wars, fightings go on going on. We can be part of it, we can withdraw from it, we can be within ourselves for the highest. Just be in that understanding. Let us see. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharusibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः सच्छास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामवरानने। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मभक्तियोगधर्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीरामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव नारदादि समस्त योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणादि शास्त्राणामाचार्येभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषत् योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुति स्मृति पुराण इतिहास संतवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थं तत्रोक्त ऋषिमुनि गुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ति तेष निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययन अध्यापना उपासना यज्ञयाग साधना सेवा तपस्या प्रार्थनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यन्तर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च तस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृते धर्म मोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठा अवाप्त्यर्थम अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मुक्त्यर्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ॐ मङ्गलाचरणश्लोकाः ॐ यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुगगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं ध्या ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्रीगुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरविकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्रपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीवसिष्ठादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्रीयोगवासिष्ठमहारामायण शास्त्रं तृतीय उत्पत्तिप्रकरणं लीला उपाख्यानम् आहवारम्भणं नाम द्वात्रिंशः सर्गः. So the 32nd Sarga talks about the arrangement of the Sainyam, both sides, and the beginning of Yuddha. Even in daytime also we saw in Sundarakanda, Hanuman, Indrajit, Yuddha. So powerful, so terrible. Hanuman is bound and taken. Thereafter again we will see Rama Ravana, Yuddha also. That will be in Uttarakanda. Yuddha Kanda, we may not chant it now. So that it means what? In the mind, between good and bad, outside, between two beings for various material purposes or egos, and in a smaller way, between two gaons, villages, between two districts, states, countries, continents, continuously this war is waged and fighting is going on, isn't it? So, one side is that extreme yuddha from inner to outer. Let us fight better the inner war of Vidya over the Avidya, etc. That is always better. Think about it, let it click. Keep on listening. Every of these satsangas listening adds to our inner data, and someday some Mahatma's Kripa or our own Punyapala, the contemplation inquiry will be triggered. Once we start independently thinking about what for the life has to be lived, what should be the ultimate goal, definitely, even though it may take some time, the truth will be revealed to us. No doubt at all. The very same time in the present context also, if you see in today's world, today 28 February, last day of this month, 2026, see that beginning of the South Asian war, isn't it? There, how it, to what it leads, we don't know. US and Israel, they have bombed the Iran. Then they now in turn have fired at all the US bases in UAE, Abu Dhabi, all those places. Then what these people do retaliation, to what level it gets escalated, only the Lord knows. And we only can watch and pray. And then what the outer reasons shown for war, what are the inner motives? You understand? Very, very interesting, very, it's all, you know, मनुष्यों का इंडिविजुअल एंड समष्टि का दिमाग किस तरह काम करता है, if it is not thinking about the reality, the Maya, you can never explain, isn't it? The Israel wants the democratic government in Iran so that they will have the good relation as they had in the past. But the US wants the dictator, but should listen to him and sell all the oil through him so that he gets the money. Who is waiting for what? पता ही नहीं चलता. अरे बाप रे बाप. Finally, what will happen only in the dark spots in the history books? A humanitarian sense, if you see, sort out if any issues are there, isn't it? And keep on with your true, development scientifically and true humanitarian values. Prove yourself to be truly a great country. Maintain it with money, with power, with science, technology, with suppression. You cannot be the superpower for long time, isn't it? Think, think, think. That's how the India's always glory remains standing out outstandingly. That we don't wage war to become superpower in any way. We will stabilize our economy not to prove to anyone but to make our praja comfortable. So too science and technology as it is required for the modern world, we learn, we investigate, we too create new ones, but not to compete or conquer anyone. Think about it. We don't wage wars, etc. Ours is a beautiful policy. And then we always, there are hundreds, thousands of Mahatmas continuously born in this Bharata Mata who teach the Nivrutti Marga, who teach the truth, the Tattva Jnana, the universal oneness, and working for the universal prosperity. Isn't it? That protects Bharata Mata and its leaders mainly from going into astray, following the leaders of other countries, where they don't have these backgrounds of high level of spirituality or universal outlook. They have good patriotism, but that becomes again criminality towards other countries. Ours is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in that Bharat Mata ki jai. We don't say Bharat Mata ki jai, destroying the entire other Vasudha. That's why our Indians go all over the world, and wherever they go, they serve those places. Isn't it? They are not cunning fellows that we earn everything from there and pour in India and all. ऐसा नहीं. They serve those countries. That's why others are jealous. Why the Indians are so good? So hardworking also, good also. And the most unfortunate thing is they are intelligent. Intelligent and good. मजा आता है comparatively. ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. So let us see the chanting of this sarga, then see the meaning. Om Adha Utpatti Prakaranam Ahavaarambhanam Nama Leelopakhyanam Dvatrimshattama Sargah. Start. Om Shri Vasishtha Uvacha Om अथ वीरवरोत्कण्ठ नृत्यदप्सरसि स्थिता लीलावलोकयामास व्योम्नि विद्यान्वितावनौव स्वराष्ट्रमण्डले भर्तृपालिते बलमालिते कस्मिंश्चित् द्विततारण्ये द्वितीयाकाशभीषणे सेनाद्वितयमाक्षुब्धं सौम्याब्धिद्वितयोपमं महारम्भघनं मत्तं स्थितं राजद्वयान्वितं युद्धसज्जं सुसन्नद्धं इद्धमग्निमिवाद्भुतं पूर्वप्रहारसम्पात प्रेक्षाक्षुब्धाक्षिलक्षितम् उद्यतामलनिस्त्रिंश धारासारवहज्जनं कचत्परश्वतप्रास भिन्दिपालर्ष्टिमुद्गरं गरुत्मत्पक्षटविक्षुब्ध वनसम्पातकम्पितम् उद्यद्दिनकरालोक चञ्चत् कनककण्टकम् परस्परमुखालोक कोपप्रोद्धामितायुधम् अन्योन्यबद्धदृष्टित्वात् चित्रं भित्ताविवार्पितम् लेखामर्यादया दीर्घबद्धया स्थापितस्थिति अनिवार्यमहासैन्य झाङ्काराश्रुतसंकथम् पूर्वप्रहारस्मयतः चिरं संशान्तदुन्दुभिः निबद्धयोध संस्थान निखिलानीकमन्थरम् धनुर्द्वितयमात्रात्मा शून्यमध्यैकसेतुना विभक्तं कल्पवातेन मत्तमेकार्णवं यथा काये सङ्कटसंरम्भ चिन्तापरवशेश्वरं विरटद्भेककण्ठत्व कपकण्ठत्वक् भङ्गुरातुरहृद्गुहं प्राणसर्वस्वसन्त्याग सोद्योगासङ्ख्यसैनिकं कर्णाकृष्णशरौघौघ त्यागोन्मुखधनुर्धरं प्रहारपातसम्प्रेक्षा निष्पन्दासङ्ख्यसैनिकम् अन्योन्योत्कण्ठकाठिन्य भरकाठिन्य भरभ्रुकुटीसङ्कटम् परस्परसुसङ्घट्ट कटुटङ्कारकण्कटं वीरयोधमुखादग्ध भीरप्रेप्सितकोटरं मितः संस्थानकालोक मात्रा सन्दिग्धजीवितं समस्ताङ्गरुहासक्त प्रांशुवृद्धेभमानवम् पूर्वप्रहारसम्प्रेक्षा व्यग्रप्राणतया तया संशान्तकल्लोलरवं निद्रामुद्रपुरोपमं संशान्तशङ्खसङ्घात तूर्यनिर्ह्राददुन्दुभिः भूतलाकाश संलीन सर्वपांसुपयोधरं पलायनपरैः पश्चात् त्यक्तमङ्गुलमण्डलं विसारिमकरव्यूह मत्स्यसङ्ख्याब्धिभासुरं पताकामञ्जरीपुञ्ज विजिताकाशतारकं हास्तिकोत्तम्भितकर काननीकृतखान्तरं तरत्तलभापूर सपक्षसकलायुधं धमद्धमिति शब्दैश्च श्वासोत्थैर्ध्मातखान्तरम् चक्रव्यूहकराक्रान्ता दुर्वृत्तसुरभासुरं गरुडव्यूहसंरम्भ विद्रवन्नागसञ्चयं शेनव्यूहविभिन्नाग्र सन्निवेशोत्तमध्वनि अन्योन्यास्फोटनिःशेष प्रपतद्भूरि वृन्दकं विविधव्यूहविन्यास वान्तवीरवरारवं करप्रतोलनोल्लास मत्तमुद्गरमण्डलम् कृष्णायुधांशुचलद श्यामीकृतदिवाकरम् अनिलाधूतवल्यूल सूत्कृताभशरध्वने अनेककल्पकल्पाग्र सवृन्दमिव संस्थितं प्रलयानिलसंक्षुब्धम् एकार्णवमिवोत्थितं सद्यश्चिन्नं महामेरोः पक्षद्वयमिव स्फुरतु क्षुब्धमारुतनिर्धूतम् इव कज्जलपर्वतं पातालकुहरात् क्षुब्धम् अन्धकारमिवोत्थितं लोकालोकमिवोन्मत्त नृत्यलोलनत्तटं महानरकसङ्घातं भित्त्वावनिमिवोत्थितम् आलोलकुन्तमुसलासि परश्वथांशु श्यामायमानदिवसातप वारिपूरैः एकार्णवं भुवनकोशम् इवाशिरेण कर्तुं समुद्यतम् अगाधम् अनन्तपूरैः इत्यार्षे श्रीवासिष्ठमहारामायणे वाल्मीकीये उत्पत्तिप्रकरणे आहवारम्भणं नाम 32 सर्गः। ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम, 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 श्रीराम जय Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Rama Sharanam Mama. श्रीरामायण शरणं मम. श्रीवसिष्ठ शरणं मम. श्रीविश्वामित्र शरणं मम. श्रीवाल्मीकि शरणं मम. श्रीव्यासा शरणं मम. श्रीसरस्वती शरणं मम. श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम. श्री रामा शरणं मम. श्रीराम शरणं मम. शरणं मम. शरणं mama. In the earlier sarga, those people in the Sukshma Rupa who have come to see that war and assembled in the Akasha, that Varnana was done. Now today the Varnana of the Sainya for the Yuddha who have assembled in that Bhubhaga Aranya. The Yuddha is happening in a forest-like place, not a plain empty land. So, Ahava Arambha Varnanam is this Sarga. Ahava means Yuddha. Arambha beginning, Varnanam is description. Sri Vasishthaji telling. Now, we can skip it, but when Vasishthaji told, when Rama heard, when Valmiki ji wrote, when from that time till now, without editing, this portion is continuously being carried. I thought, why should I skip? When Vasishtha wrote means we must go through it at least once. है कि नहीं? अगर इतना important नहीं होता, Vasishtha would himself have not written it or told it, or Valmiki would have edited, saying there was the arrangement like this. They thought this is what happened, but they gave description only to tell us that you also study. Every of these information becomes helpful data to analyze. Finally, with the buddhi as to finally what we have to do and achieve. So good. Let us start. Sri Vasishtha Uvacha. Atha starts with Mangalavachakam. Veera Vara Utkantha Nrutyat Apsarasi Sthita. That Akasha is filled with the Apsarasas who are with all Utkantata doing the Nrutya, waiting for the Veera Vara to come after getting killed in the Yuddha. So Veeravara Utkantha Nrutyat Apsarasi Sthita is that Akash. Staying there, Leela Avalokayamasa Vyomni Vidyanvita Avanau. From the Akasha along with Vidya Saraswati Devi, Avalokayamasa started seeing what's happening on the ground. So they came to see the Raja. But before they focused on the Bhubhaga in the Akasha only, so many people were assembled. They could see them. Why they were assembled? To watch the Yuddha. Yuddha between Leelopakhi and the Sindhu Raja. Leelopakhi is Viduratha. Sindhu Raja with the help of all the Samanta. Okay. Then Swarashtra Mandale. Swarashtra Mandale in his own kingdom. Who is he? Bhartrupalite, ruled by the husband Bali Mahalite, which is also full of all the bala. Her husband, the Raja, has sufficiently collected all the bala. Isn't it like the Iran? Not like earlier week. Now to that, the China is giving all the weaponry. Half weaponry is of China only. And Russia also has its own support. Giving to it. Isn't it? India is very Arab. Like Russia, Ukraine war, anywhere, we are neutral. We don't do any participation. Whereas Israel important, yesterday only our PM returned from there. Iran is important also, we get so much of oil from them. So, ये चलता ही रहता है नौटंकी. So, they also, the Raja is full of power only. Nobody in this world, after sufficient maturity, remains to be big. Everybody. Nowadays, you see, no villager, no town wala, no rickshaw puller, no sabji wala. Everybody is powerful. Everybody is vocal. Everybody is intelligent. Everybody is smart enough to earn his own livelihood and, if possible, defeat others, cheat others. Nobody like that time of suppressed by Britishers. Everybody, you can't. In that way, all are powerful. This Raja is powerful. Then Kasminchit Vitata Aranye. In one of the Aranya, the assembly happened of both the parties to fight the war. Ditiya Akasha Bhishane. So it was appearing like the second Akasha is that Aranya filled with these two Sainyas. Okay. Sena Dvitayam Akshubdham. The Sainya of both sides are Akshubdham. With all that Kshubdhata, their restlessness and readiness to fight the war. Saumyam Didvitayo Upamam. Right now, like two oceans which are very calm and quiet. Saumya Abdhi Dvitaya Upamam. So, because the war has not yet started. Now, this picture again to gives an idea to our wanting to think dynamic intellects, to imagine how, when the war happens, the situation. Isn't it so terrible, so frightening? Nowadays, more of the, what do you call them, Shastras. Shastra is you throw from one place to other, all these missiles, etc. And astras also are there, but not going so physically near, like having the swords, etc. on those days. Maximum are the bullets and rifles with that shooting only. लग गया तो मरा, हमें लगा तो हम मरे. उस समय ऐसा नहीं ना. They have the तलवार्स in the hand. एक दूसरे मारने के चक्कर में किसी का कान कट गया, किसी का नाक कट गया, किसी का उंगली कट गया, किसी का हाथ बाहु गया, कि leg, somebody's body and somebody head only. Very horrible, no? Those yuddhas. These are much horrible. More, they are only human beings and those animals used to die. No destruction to any constructions that time. अभी तो bombing करो तो total colonies, localities, residential areas, they all just come to down. Most destructivities. Anyway, so Sena Dvitayam Akshubdham Saumya Abdi Dvitaya Upamam. Both are like the oceans, calm and quiet, because Yuddha not yet started. Maharambha Ghanam. It is a starting of a very ferocious thing. Maharambha Ghanam. Then Mattam. Within themselves, all are there intoxicated. Matta means totally dedicated for that endeavor. Mattam. Yeah, any work which is so important, when you take up, you are totally engrossed in it. It's called matta. When you are doing gardening, you are not very aware of any other thing. You're just looking at plants, cleaning, watering, setting them right. So even the phone rings or wife calls 3 4 times, you don't answer because you didn't listen. Why? Mattam. Isn't it? So they're all in the totally tuned mood to that yuddha. Sthitam Rajadvaya Anvitam. And both sides, the Rajas also are there, already have come for the war. Not that they are sitting in the room, eating tea, coffee, getting the news, and telling the soldiers to fight and kill each other. The Rajas themselves are there. Because Raja being in the war physically is the only and main inspiration for the soldiers to fight. राजा को पहले रहकर युद्ध में चलना है ना, इस तरह. So both the rajas there, Viduratha Raja and Sindhu Raja also. Then Yuddha Sajjam, they are fully equipped with Yuddha. So Sannadham, mentally fully prepared. Iddham Agnim Iva Adbhutam. The both of the Sainya within themselves looking like the ignited fire inside them. Okay. Hmm. So, Yuddha Sajjam Susannadham Iddham Agnimiva Adbhutam. Very blazing fire, lighted fire ki tarah they were there. So Yuddha Sajja means all the required helmets, kavachas, wearing, shoe, etc. protection ke liye. Then having the Dhanurbana, those who fight with them, the swords, those who fight with them, and each ones are differently experts in their own different Yuddha Samagri using. है ना प्रास परिस पट्टिस प्रास परिग पट्टिस शतग्नि है ना शक्ति तोमर मुसल भुसुंडी these are the various ayudhas they had those days depending on their sizes their weights etc those are very powerful who is really one he will have a big ayudha why should he have a small one isn't it So he will take the one and he is more powerful. In one go he can finish many. Those who cannot, they'll have only small sword. ऐसे अलग अलग गदा गदा cannot be lifted by everyone. है ना? You don't see Yudhishthira, Nakula, Sahadeva, Arjuna having gada. They will have swords, they will have the bow and arrow. Gada only Bhima. It will be very big. But so too it is powerful too. है ना विथ गदा प्रहारा वन बीटिंग द पर्सन वोंट गेट अप अगेन एक बार मार दी खत्म बट यू शुड हैव लिफ्टिंग द गदा एबिलिटी एंड फाइटिंग विद द गदा प्रोटेक्टिंग योर सेल्फ ऑल्सो बाप रे इतना वजन था इमेजिन इट गधा उठा के घुमाते हुए इट्स नॉट इजी एनीथिंग कितना एक्सरसाइज किए होंगे वो लोग तो युद्ध सज्ज मीन्स लाइक दैट युद्ध सज्जम सुसन्नद्धम Idham Agnimiva Adbhutam. So wonderful they were looking like the ignited fire, well equipped with all the armor, etc. You had all the things, those who are in the chariot, on the elephants, where to keep the everything is well planned. Okay. Then Purva Prahara Sampata Prekshakshubda Akshilakshitam. The kings of both sides are still thinking nobody ordered Akraman. So therefore, both of them are watching at each other. Who will shoot the first arrow? Purva Prahara. Purva means pehle. Prahara means shooting. Sampata. पहले प्रहार करके संपात प्रेक्षा आक्षुब्ध अक्षि लक्षितम तो each one is looking at each other. If he shoots me, I will also shoot the arrow. Both of them neutralize. Then I will shoot again. तो कौन पहला मारेगा करके एक दूसरे को ऐसे देख रहे थे अभी ऑर्डर नहीं मिला देन उद्यतामल निस्त्रिंश धारा सारवहत जनम सो उद्यत अमल निस्त्रिंश धारा सारवहत जनम सो द जनम द सैन्य वहत holding the dhara sara very sharpened amala very fresh nistrimsha the swords, etc., Udyata, holding and ready to fight. Like in Gita also we see before Arjuna asking Krishna to take the chariot in between. Both of them were after the Shankadhvani ready for doing the Yuddha. At that 0 point Arjuna asked the chariot to be taken. Then looked at each other, all sides. Then he started crying, weeping, all that. Then, that's in Gita he said as what? Ki, pravrutte shastra sampate. That is the word used. Atha vyavasthitan drushtva dhartarashtran kapidvajaha pravrutte shastra sampate. धनुरुद्यम्य पांडव ऋषिकेशम तदा वाक्यम इदमाह महीपते सो प्रवृत्ते शस्त्र संपाते is at the 0 point of shastra samyak patan each one hitting others with the arrows so here also udyata amala nistrimsha dhara sara vahat janam they are holding those swords so sharp and fresh and powerful etc then kachat parashvata prasa bhindipala Mudgaram. Then Kachat means holding strongly. Parashvata is the Ayudha. Prasa is another Ayudha. Bhindipala is another Ayudha. Rushti is another Ayudha. and Mudgara is another ayuda. Mudgara is the Gada. So each one, in whatever the warfare they are trained, they are holding those weapons. So the swords are there, then the bow and arrow are there, and all these army also, armors also, weapons they are fully equipped with. Means what? The discussion about the war happening must be going on for such a long time. Like you are seeing from last 2 3 months the US is warning the Iran will attack, and Iran also telling Kuwait and all from last 3 4 years that if at all something happens, we'll be helpless. We have to attack all the US bases in your countries. That's what happened now. So many years, every day we are listening to the news. It has actually happened. Now, what will be the retaliatory steps? We have to wait and watch. Will they do calculatively well planned, or they become mad, aggressive? We don't know. This year 2026, as predicted, can have more things of this sort than the earlier years. क्या बड़े पता नहीं देखते रहो भाई. We will only pray for the buddhi to prevail in all. We don't say somebody is good or somebody bad from our side. Whoever is good, let them become more good. Whoever is bad, let him become good. Take the whole world as one family. All national differences, religious differences, they're all only for vyavahara. Otherwise, the attitude should be all should live and let live. Then only the praja will continuously live beautifully, peacefully, happily. एक दूसरे को मारोगे तो क्या होगा? If this fellow kills them, they will wait for again attack. The same time, see the escalation of the tension between Pakistan and Afghanistan. वो भी कहाँ तक जाएगा पता नहीं. Who will help Afghanistan? We don't know who will help Pakistan. क्या होगा? चिढ़ गया तो nobody is such a person of thinking to have patience, forgiveness. Especially those religions, they never teach tolerance and all. Maro kato only. Up now, they are they have to face whatever they have done now. You only kill each other. क्या करें? ये सब होना नहीं चाहिए. The whole world should be such a place for the human beings to live comfortably, working out for their higher evolution. That's how it has to be. But the people, the jivas who come with their own ignorance, vasanas. Like we also, with all our study of Shastras, how much of Vedanta we understood, how much of Tattva we understood, how much of the deep intense sadhanas we are doing, and where is the removal of the Raga, Desha, Kama, Krodha from our life? The same equal worldly people only we are. With all the Shastras, then if we are like this, those thick-skinned fellows, those who have Artha Kama only as the goal, isn't it? How can they think about the forgiveness, the peace? Let us sit together and talk and sort out the issues one to one. Uh-huh. Isn't it? Mhm. Next, Garutmat Pakshata Vikshubdha Vanasampata Kampitam Udyat Dinakaraloka Chanchat Kanaka Kantakam. See, Garutmat Paksha. When Garutmanji moves with his wings, with the speed, so much of Shubdata happens wherever he moves. If it is winds, in the wind. If he is moving near the oceanic waters. If he is near the forests, the trees. Because of the swiftness of the movement and bigness and the power of those wings. So these two सैन्य are अक्षुब्ध जंगल की तरह जो गरुत्मान के मूवमेंट से विक्षुब्ध होता है. Garutmat Paksha Vikshubdha Vana Sampata Kampitam. So both the Sainyas are in that Kampita mode, like the Garutman's movement. Now, who is the Garutman here? The fear of the Yuddha. Fear means that thought of the Yuddha, that now in some more time we are going to shoot arrows, weapons at each other in every moment. Who will die, who will be alive, we don't know. So the Yuddha thought in the mind is the Garutman Vega. Therefore, the entire Sainya is in the Vikshubdha sthiti. जैसे भूकंप होता है या सुनामी होता है या पैंडेमिक होता है, विक्षुब्ध. Now you see all those countries where Iran is attacking, the air bases विक्षुब्ध हो गया. People are running इधर एंड तिधर बचाने के लिए अपना जान. And when US Israel bombed the Tehran, whatever, there also अभी नंबर तो नहीं आया गिनती how many died and all. विक्षुब्धता. So then udyat dinakara aloka chanchat kanaka kantakam. You know, looking like the blazing sun are the kankatams, the kavachas that are worn by the people. They are shining like the sunlight only. अपने आप कवच पहने हैं ना, made out of iron or whatever, to protect from the beating or the hitting of others. So they are all giving the reflecting look like the sunlight only. Chamak chamak everybody's the kavachas. Udyat dinakara aloka. Looking like the sunlight. Looking like. Chanchat kanaka kankatam. Kankata means all the kavachas. Then paraspara mukhaloka kopa prodhamita yudham. This is interesting. Looking at each other's face with all the anger, keeping the swords and weapons ready as if to hit each other. Once akraman, that sound is made by the leaders, the king or either Sainadhyaksha. This scene you can see in the Wagah borders every day. Again फिर से खुल गया कुछ दिन से, पहले कुछ साल नहीं था. That from some 2, 3, 4 years it didn't happen again. Really when you see that इवनिंग के टाइम पे ये लोग उधर परेड करके जाके उनको गुस्से से देखते. दे आल्सो लुक एट दिस साइड विथ ऑल द एंगर. टेरिबल इट इज, है ना. फर्स्ट टाइम दोज हु गो, उनको रियली लग ही जाता है यार ये एक दूसरे को मार लेंगे क्या, हमारा क्या होगा. बट व्हेन यू गो 5, 6 टाइम्स यू अंडरस्टैंड इट्स ए नाटक. एवरी डे गोज ऑन. बट इट्स आल्सो ए ट्रेनिंग. Nothing can be underestimated. If that actual occasion happens, then in that same spirit they'll be there. So paraspara mukha aloka kopa pra uddhamita ayudam. Then anyonya baddha drushtitvat chitram vittaviva arpitam. Each of them looking at each other and observing each one's movements of shooting all the weapons. Therefore, chitram vittaviva arpitam. It's like a painting on the wall. They were all stand still. Why not it started? Because orders are not received. है ना, when order होगा तभी करेंगे. They are not indisciplined like the cricket players. Let's play. That umpire says. Then only you will have to bowl and bat. After every over, the ball has to be given to the umpire. He will hold. They can't tamper it and all. So rules regulations होते. Then लेखा मर्यादया दीर्घ बद्धया स्थापित स्थितिः. See, Leka Maryadaya Dirga Badhaya Sthapita. There is a Leka, a line border. This side is this Sainya, this side is this. They cannot cross that. Unka apna ilaka, inka ilaka. When the war starts, then all gets disturbed. They have to go here, they have to like that. Like before the kabaddi match starts, तो इधर के लोग इधर, उस लेखा के इधर होते हैं, वो इधर होते हैं, अपना अपना. Once chalo start, then he goes the other side to ride. Isn't it? That's the meaning of Leka Maryadaya Dirgabadhaya Sthapita Sthiti. Each one are bound in their own place, staying in their own place, demarcated with that in between borderline or dividing line. So then Anivarya Mahasainya Jhankara Shrutasam Katham. So Anivarya Mahasainya Jhankara. There are huge number of Sainya. So a part of Mahasainya are not stoppable. So they are making the sounds of Jai Jaikara. Therefore, the orders of the leaders or any other talking to each other was unheard, not able to be heard. isn't it? Heavy traffic may, when there's honking the horn going on of all the cars, then two people on two-wheeler, what they talk to each other, they can't listen. They can't hear to each other. Like that. Anivarya Mahasainya Jhankara Shruta Sankatham. Ashruta Sankatham. Then Purva Praharasmayataha Chiram Samshanta Dunduvihi. Purva Praharasmayataha. Let us wait. We will not be the aggressors. In that mode, one side is not waging war. Even the Dundubhi, the sound which is made by hitting the trumpets, beating the trumpets, for two purposes of inspiring their own side and frightening the other side. They are all right now in the Shanta state. You can see in a cricket ground anywhere too, when one team supporters are more in number and when they do Jai and that team gets inspired. And looking at the other that other team, अरे हमें support ही नहीं मिल रहा है, they get some demoralization. For the time being, finally, what works is each one's skill only. Each one's that day's performance, that day's mindset, movement, all of that. कोई भी बंदा कितना भी तैयार किया हो, उस दिन जो करेगा वही होगा. Think about it. So, Purva Prahara Smayataha. Who will hit the first arrow? Looking at each other. Chiram for a long time. Sam Shanta Dundubihi. Even the Dundubi also is quieted. Let's not instigate our people. Let us not be the aggressors. There may be a final thought of discussing and avoiding the war so that so much of destruction, killings may not happen. ऐसा चलता है. That way, nobody is that way two Rakshasa. सबको पता है ही. When these two countries are fighting, do you think they don't know what amount of destruction happens? US knows that they will attack my bases. Isn't it? So, some people, when the wisdom prevails, they'll have more discussions and some compromises, understandings in the interest of the praja. Again, leaders तो हमेशा सेव रहते हैं in their own bullet-proof buildings and all. Who would I are the soldiers and ordinary human beings, isn't it? So those who have that heart, they then take the yuddha as only the final one, as a resort. Before that, all discussions are done to avoid it. This is a big thing. That's why in Gita, Gahana Karmano Gati. Isn't it? Gahana Karmano Gati is not only the karma phala is inexplicable, but who does karma with what intention at what time? Nobody can judge. पता नहीं चलता. Then पूर्व प्रहारस्मयतश्चिरं संशांत दुंदुभिः निबद्ध योध संस्थान निखिलानीकमंथरम. So the all the yodhas standing in their own nibaddha sthana. It is looking like the Mantharachala Parvata only. Then mm, mhm. then धनुर्द्वितयमात्रात्मा शून्यमध्यैकसेतुना. धनुर्द्वितयम द्वितय मात्र आत्मा शून्य मध्य एक सेतु. Dhanu means one bow, this big size. Two sizes of the dhanu. Those days the distance in these particular occasions were measured in terms of the dhanuhu distance. Like in the entire Skanda Purana, Prabhasa Kshetra mein, the hundreds and hundreds of divine places were described. Hundreds of Shivalingas, hundreds of Vishnu Sambandhi, Krishna Sambandhi mandiras. While describing the distance between each of them were always told in the Dhanuhu only. Two Dhanu, three Dhanu. From this, the east side 20 Dhanu distance, there was a Shivalinga, there is a Shivalinga established by Yudhishthira. Then to that, the right side 20 Dhanu established by Bhima, Arjuna, like that. Or there is that the one where Indra is established with that Mandira. वहां से 20 धनु दक्षिण साइड the Kubera established like that. So the distance is measured in terms of the size of the dhanu. So dvidhanu means two bow sides is the distance between both the armies. Dhanur dvitaya matra atma shunya madhya eka setuna. The setu, the gap between both the sainyas is two dhanu parimana. That's it. Vivaktam kalpavatena mattame karnavam yatha. Interesting. Kalpavatena, the Pralaya Vayu has divided one ocean into two. Like that was the two Sainya. This Sainya is oceanic size. This is oceanic size. Both are one ocean only. But the Kalpavayu has separated them as if. Kalpavayu means the Vayu at the Kalpanta. Kalpagni means Agni at the Kalpanta. Like that. So, vivaktam kalpavatena mattam ekarnavam yatha. Ekarnavam mattam kalpavatena vivaktam iva. Like that. Then, kaye sankata sambrambha chinta paravaseshwaram. So, kaye means if the yuddha happens. Sankata, what amount of the sankatas will happen? Sambrambha, that inexplicable consequences. Thinking about them, chinta paravasha ishwaram. So that's why the war is not yet started. Both the rajas are in the chinta. If this yuddha practically happens, the amount of the nashta that happens to both of them. So they are not fighting in, in the yuddha, what do you call it? In the forest place only they are fighting. But the Sainya will be killed. What will happen to their families and all? So in that way, Kaye Sankata Sambramba Chinta Paravasha Ishwaram. Both the Ishwaras are Chinta Paravasha. The amount of Sankata Sambramba that will happen if the war takes place. Then Viratat Bheka Kantatva Bhanguratura Hrudguham. Some of the soldiers who are first timers or by nature are frightened. They joined the army for good salary and pension. They never imagined that really a war will come and they have to stand in front of the opposite people who are going to kill us. कुछ लोग ऐसे ना डर के भी. So such a people भेक कंठत्वक भंगुरा आतुर हृदगुहम. Their hridaya guha is so frightened from their kantha. The shabda is coming like that bheka, the words of fear coming. The exhaling, inhaling also is happening in that way out of the fear. Of those, some of the soldiers, both sides are frightened of that yuddha, frightened of their own death, and imagining about their parents, a family. कुछ भी होगा हर एक का background, who knows it? If the 2000 soldiers are there, each of them have their own family members, their love, their attachment, their expectation, their problems, issues. It's a big, 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 big thing. Who understands all that? So some of them are, for whatever the reason, are afraid of that yuddha. So their throats were choked in that way. Then prana sarvasva santyaga sodyoga sankhya sainikam. And this totally opposite group of number of soldiers are there who are so convinced ki why the war is not yet starting. We are ready to fight for this war and get killed if it's required. तो अत्यंत उत्साह धैर्य के साथ भी है. The people ready to kill and get killed, they are also very timid, frightening people also. All this, when you listen, this data gives an idea how the world is at any given period of time, filled with the variety of people. Not all are same. कोई तो उत्साह से है युद्ध करने को, कोई डर रहे हैं. बहुत तरह के होते हैं, है ना? Like if you take the opinion of 100 crores of Indians regarding the World War III, you will get 100 crore opinions. Each one. कोई अत्यंत वेदांत वाले, I say everything is Brahman. In Brahman, nothing is happening. The highest. And only those who know it, they understand. बाकी हंसेंगे उनको देखकर. Even though he is talking the ultimate truth. Then the Ahimsavadis talk in their own like the Samya, the Sama, what is it called? Samyavadi socialist. He will talk in his own language. Everyone will have their own. So here also, some are frightened, others are so ready for that war. Prana sarvasva santyaga sa udyoga asankhya sainikam. They are ready for even doing the sacrifice of their prana in that yuddha. Some sainyas are like that. Then Karna Krishta Sharau Ghaugha Tyagon Mukha Dhanurdharam. In this way, many Dhanurdharis are keeping their bow ready, and onto that the arrow is kept, and they have already pulled that arrow up to their ears level. Was one order from their leaders, Akraman. They just want to listen, and already they have aimed at whom to shoot. That also seen. So this camera called Vaashishthaji is observing everything and giving an idea to us. Karna Krishta Sharaugauga Tyaga Unmukha Dhanurdharam. The Dhanurdharas are ready to do the Tyaga means shooting the arrow. Tyaga is not the Vedantic Tyaga. Yeah, matlab chodna us bana ko. You know that scene of 2-3 years back in that Galwan mein, our India deploying 1 lakh of Sainya there, China also deploying there. It was frightened कि हो ही जाएगा करके. Somehow the akal prevailed for both of them. They postponed it. You know? Now you see what will happen. Both Pakistan, Afghanistan too, and then here Israel, America one side, Iran. Who will support them in what way? Let us see. So that yuddha anytime is not healthy, isn't it? Next one, Praharapata Sampreksha Nishpanda Sankhya Sainikam. You know, many Sainikas are Nispanda, unmoved, seeing just when the other shoot arrow, how to protect oneself and retaliate. Then Anyonya Utkanta Khatinya Bhara Bhrukuti Sankatam. Utkanta Khatinya Bhara Bhrukuti Sankatam Anyonya. Each of them looking at each other with total excitement, with their eyebrows as well as the Bhrukuti Bhaga, means whenever you look at with all concentration alertness, your this portion Bhrukuti Bhaga gets Sankuchita. They are in that mood. Anyonya Utkanta Katinya Bhara Bhrukuti Sankata. That Katinyata is necessary at that time, not the mruduta. युद्ध में आ गए एक बार तय कर लिया, so you have to make your heart kathina and shoot the arrow and kill the other side. You cannot have, as we say वेदांत में सत्संग में कि वह उनके घर में भी माता पिता होंगे, बच्चे होंगे बेचारे, उनका क्या हो लगा हाल होगा, ये मर गया तो. This we will talk, not a soldier allowed to. For him only protect his country, frontier is important. Just shoot, that's it. Isn't it? And the same Vedanti later on says, after Yuddha, when 10 black people died, nobody died, jivas left their body. Now they are taken into different lokas, which has already been shown to us that how many people were ready in the Akasha Sukshma Rupa to receive those who get killed in the Yuddha. Then Paraspara Susanghatta Katutankara Kankatam. है ना? The soldiers very close to each other, अपने group के, that hitting of each one's kavacha, giving that tankara sound, not with the enemy, अपने अपने ही कवचों का एक दूसरे का लगने से. They're so close to each other, no? The various formations of it will be described later on. Then Veera Yodha Mukhadagdha Bhira Prepsita Kotaram. Veera Yodha Mukha Adagdha Bhira Prepsita Kotaram. Very interesting saying. That the ferocious Veera talking the words of let us attack, let us finish the enemy. Listening to that, the frightened people, no, they also will hit us, we will be dying. They are getting more and more fears when the words of inspiration uttered by the courageous people. The courageous people are courageously talking, listening to that. The people who have that weak heart, they are frightened only. Their hearts are broken also. Like that. Mita samsthana kaloka matra sandigdha jeevitam samastangaruha sakta pramshu vruddhe bhamanavam. So, mitaha samsthanaka aloka matra sandigdha jeevitam. They're looking at each other. Anytime war will start, they all know within a minute or by the evening of day who will be alive, who will not be alive. Sandigdha. They have that doubt and they are ready for that. Then samasta angaruha asakta pramshu vruddha iva manava. So the elephants and the human beings, the dust which has come there covering them, they are looking double in their size. Manava looking like Ibha, elephants, that way you can say. Or Angaruha Asakta Pramshu. Pramshu means the dust, isn't it? So the dust which is raising there is sticking onto the bodies. They are appearing to be double the thick in the size, like that. In this way, we have done 15 mantras. Only so many are there. Tomorrow we'll see the whole thing. यहाँ हम रोक देते हैं. Good. We chanted also. We try to see the युद्ध वर्णना little bit there. जब actual युद्ध होगा फिर उसका भी description we'll see. Just be there wherever the Lord prompts us, along with the story for our own life. Anything to be learnt, we'll discuss. Om Purnamadaha Sarvam Sri Ramadi श्रीराम श्री वशिष्ठादि गुरूणाम देवतानां चरणारविंदार्पणमस्तु ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. You know, like somebody asked me, so what is your opinion when these wars are going on? I said, ईश्वर इच्छा भाई. Who am I to poke my individuality? जैसे प्रभु चाहे वैसा होगा. रोकना है तो रोक देंगे वो. I am not intelligent than him. He knows it. होने देना है तो होने देंगे. जिसमें if there is something good to happen for the good people, he knows it. You know, when some stage of evolution and maturity comes, we don't poke even the samashti is happening. That much ego also we will not have. है ना? Who am I to recommend to the Lord? ऐसा करो वैसा मत करो. अरे, he knows it. ईश्वर इच्छा is the highest sharanagati. At my level, I know what to do. That also Ishvara Icha. That's why he placed me here. If his Icha was, if his Icha were for me to be there in the war, he would have made me a soldier there. If he made me a Babaji here, so his Icha is that I must do this satsang. So I am very clear about it. मेरे लिए प्रभु का क्या आदेश है वो मैं जानकर करना चाहता हूँ. बाकी सब उनकी ही इच्छा है और कृपा है. Isn't it? Once you say this, your mind intellect are shant. We know that Ishvara is watching, and we also know without his kripa, permission, not even a little thing can happen in the world. Ultimate is that. At the Vyavahara level, all these other things we talk, that the leader should sit and discuss about the terrible consequence that will happen if the Yuddha happens. Therefore, they should come to some compromise. Yes, of sending good thoughts so that they will be received by somebody or the other. है ना? Otherwise, प्रभु इच्छा. चलो आ जाओ. We'll study Laghu Vakyavritti for some time.